I would like to welcome everybody. These are all YOBSN owners who are on this call. I'd like to welcome you all to this official YOBSN corporate update. My name is Ken Brough, and I'm the Chief Operations Officer for Smart Media Development. David Martin, our Chief Executive Officer and owner, has asked me to host this webinar. I want to recognize that we have some great people on this call. We have some great leaders. We have some hardworking people, some of the hardest working in the world as far as I'm concerned. And I want to recognize that the people that are on this call, you are YOBSN. Corporate can't do anything without you. So it really is a team combination between us. You're the difference between success and failure for us. So thank you for joining us. And I think you'll agree when the webinar's finished, it's going to be time well spent. We're going to start out the webinar talking to, I'm going to have the first segment of the webinar. We'll be talking to David Martin, our CEO, and I'm going to ask him to take this first section. I want to tell everybody that David spent the last 5 years building this organization. He's the founder and visionary for the company, if there are new people on the call, and he's someone who just can't wait to tell you good news. David, are you there?
Well, I certainly am, Ken. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can.
Brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to be with you today. And we have so much exciting information that I probably won't even get a chance to bring it all to your attention today in the limited amount of time that we have. This is going to be a call that's packed full of exciting and also very crucial information for you, and information that will allow us not only to see a few little parts of the many amazing things that we've been working on and that we're about to roll out with, but also some ways that we can make the world a better place, and that you can make the world a better place for yourself. I'm going to start with two special guests. And let me see, yes, I've made them both organizers. The first one, Michael, I'd like to give a special introduction to. Now, the thing about Michael, in one of my, and actually both of my last public webinars, and I've done a number of roundtable webinars for the leaders where I've been showing all sorts of really special behind-the-scenes information that they've all been sworn to secrecy on. But in my last two public webinars, I mentioned that if I ever get hit by the big red bus, then it's not about David Martin. It's got to be about a team, a comprehensive, extremely well-trained and extremely experienced team of highly ethical, high-quality individuals that are able to make things go forward in astonishing ways, even without me. And of course, I'm not going anywhere. But that's really the only way I feel how to run a company. I look at the example of Apple Computer and Steve Jobs and the legacy that he left. But the point is that even after Steve, the company has carried on to new and greater heights than ever before. And there are all sorts of exciting releases that are happening all the time with that company. And the same goes with YOBSN. I've had the great privilege of working with Michael for some time now. And I'll just give Michael a quick introduction. He is a software developer and manager with over 15 years of professional experience, and he has built and managed development teams all over the world, consisting of designers, developers, and testers. He has worked for Fortune 400 companies, I am incredibly pleased and proud and blessed to be working with Michael and certain other special game designers like him. Now, I just want to be clear. We have a large team of talented artists, even an expert 3D animator and compositor. We have programmers, teams of programmers, and we have different managers of those teams of programmers. One manager was actually a professor for more than a decade at a prestigious university in Europe and left that position along with his key students to come and work for us. And then we have those who are actually designing the specifications for the games, because all of our games are created from the very beginning. And the process of this is absolutely massive. The specifications files are huge. The detail is incredible. It's like creating a precise storyboard for a movie and then putting in all the effect shots and so much more. So it's my great pleasure to introduce today Michael. And Michael, I would also like to say that he has such an incredible passion for the creation of fun and exciting games. And he loves working. He's also an expert with project management and, of course, the development and design roles that I've mentioned. So without further ado, Michael, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much for that introduction, David. I'm humbled and honored to be here.
Awesome. Now, tell me, in regards to the release of Bubble Champion in the App Store, we've released it to the App Store, which it's currently going through Apple's approval process, and we know it will get approved. And then also it's going to the Google Store for Android devices right after that. How important are those steps to the success of a game?
Well, I think it's impossible to create a game that is successful, especially in the mobile market, without a presence in these stores. They really are kind of the key to getting it out there. Most of the devices that we have nowadays, whether it's the Apple devices or the Google devices or any device really, they all have a store, and that's where the majority of the users get their applications from and their games from.
So once a game is in a store, walk me through the process. Is it going to be an instant success without anyone doing anything?
No, there's quite a bit of important steps that you need to take in order to make a successful application or a successful game within those stores. And
please go on.
Yeah, and probably the biggest thing is really marketing. Any product that you have, you need to market. You need to get the word out. And each of the stores have kind of their own process in which you do that through reviews, through their rating systems. Is probably the best way to get your application, your game really noticed.
I see. So what we're saying here is that as the games, and I use that term, it's a pluralized for a particular reason, because, as you know, and I might as well announce this now, there are 3 pieces of mobile software that we are already in the process with the Apple Store, and those are specifically Bubble Champion, YOBSN Mobile, and Run Bunny Run. And there's certainly some exciting news about Run Bunny Run that I'll share with you in a moment. I will actually say right now that the version of Bubble Champion that's going to the store has a few additional features that people haven't seen yet. There's some astonishing features that we're also working on behind that, which Michael can talk about in a moment. And then with Run Bunny Run, there are a number of new graphics, new levels, new worlds in that sense to explore. Instead of new worlds, I should say new scenes they're absolutely huge and exciting updates to those. And what I'm hearing from you, Michael, is that it's very important for people to go to the store and really tell all their friends, all their associates, family members, tell them the easiest thing in the world. Tell them that there's this wonderful, completely free game that you love and they should download it. And that's it. They get to download free entertainment that's family friendly and applicable for ages 7 to 80 and beyond. And of such quality that, it's and design that I think it really warms the heart of a lot of people, and people of all ages just love playing it, in my opinion. But Michael, you've been an expert in this industry for more than 15 years. What do you think of Bubble Champion and its quality and how it does within that genre?
Well, honestly, I'm probably a bit biased because it's very near and dear to my heart, but I think we have some of the most talented artists working on this game. The art is just spectacular. I think we have the capabilities of making this game even bigger and even better. I mean, as great as I feel the game is now, I already know, because we're in process of defining and developing some of the new features coming down, that this is going to be a huge game. I just feel like the talent just is kind of pouring out, and ultimately everybody's going to get to see what we've been working on and working so hard on. And I really feel like it's really a high quality game and up there with some of the best games that I've seen on the App Store.
Awesome. I'm just thinking this would be a good time for me to also introduce Jolly, who is an expert in social networks and has been involved in actually using and customizing social networks to the best of their ability, even for the Hollywood film industry and so on. Then she joined with me and YOBSN a number of years ago, full time, and has helped us in numerous ways with her expertise in social networks. With her, she's also been around a key player in the beauty and fashion markets, as well as Hollywood in certain ways. And she's also one of our lead art directors as well. And one of the things I love about Jolly is that she has her finger on the pulse so much in regards to mobile and social integration. And I believe if I ask her nicely enough, she might actually show us some new screens of Bubble Champion and where we've been going, creating essentially whole new worlds in the Bubble Champion environment. For example, the new map of Mount Aron. So, Jolly, are you there?
I'm here. Thank you, David, for the nice words. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome. I'm going to attempt to make you the organizer right now. So many people on this webinar, I'm just hunting through all the J's. Here we are. So I think this should do it.
We can see your screen now, Yolani.
That is fantastic. And you're showing us the beautiful new Pirate Bay map. If you could also bring up the Mount Aron when you have a chance. But even before that, let's just stay with the Pirate Bay. This is a perfect example. Michael, would you be so kind as to tell us what we're looking at here? Because there are a lot of people on the webinar today. They've played Bubble Champion. What are we looking at? Because they haven't seen this. And what does this mean to the number of levels that we have, social integration, and anything else that you'd like to talk about?
Absolutely, and this is very exciting. So for those of you who have played some of our test versions of Bubble Champion, if you remember when you go to Pirate Ship, it's one world with basically 8 levels. And what you're seeing here is we've taken that concept and we've taken that entire island and expanded it and opened it up, and I'm allowing the players now to visit all 5 locations within that island, each containing 8 levels. So we're basically increasing the number of levels in the game by 5. So we're having 5 times as many levels in the game, and we're extremely excited about the replayability and the size and the additional beautiful artwork that we're going to get to show off.
That's fantastic. And let me see if I understood you correctly. Are we just doing this with the pirate level, or are there other levels that we're doing this with as well?
We are doing this with every single one of our levels.
Fantastic. And actually, I apologize, I phrased that wrong. It's I should say islands. We're doing this
Correct.
with every one of our islands, and so that means 5 times the number of levels, not for one particular island, but for all the islands in the entire game. Now, we've got some beautiful backgrounds in Bubble Champion, but and perhaps you could show something here as well, Jolly. Are there any others that we're going to have in the game, Mike?
Yes. So what we've done is we've taken each level had a kind of background that was themed towards that level that you were visiting. Well, with each one of the locations on the island, we've built brand new backgrounds for those places as well. So not only will you be getting additional levels, you'll also be getting new backgrounds to play on top of, and really just the artwork and the work that they're doing is really incredible, and it's beautiful, and it's like David was saying. I mean, this game is going to be incredibly fun for anybody from 8 to 80. It's really awesome.
So just so I understand what you're saying, every one of the scenes, there's 5 scenes now for every single island, and each one of those scenes has its own brand new high resolution, high definition background for all mobile devices. Is that correct?
You are correct.
It occurs to me that this could mean something for social integration as well. I mean, more levels equals what?
Well, for those of you who've seen some of the social integration that we've been working on, we are showing. Jolly's bringing up that page. So we are showing your users, your referrer's avatar in the game, and this gives us that many more opportunities to show those avatars and to have that avatar come into the game and help out the player and become kind of the hero of that player's play experience, which is just something that I've never seen that in a game before, and I'm super excited about the way we're building this integration.
That's actually a key point, because it's interesting how we've been riding the wave of the largest trends on the internet, and yet we're not doing so with social integration. We are actually, instead of riding the wave, we are pioneering it. Literally, there is. Let me ask Yolani, for example, have you ever seen any other game, any other company, revenue sharing or not, that has something like this in it?
No, not at all. Not something that literally shows your brand when you upgraded your paint bubble, or when you bought a new item, or when you finished a level. No.
That's astonishing. What also occurs to me from a financial standpoint, and anyone who knows me knows that I'm so passionate talking about these beautiful games and these beautiful, incredibly high value products that we are creating and have created here. And I don't talk a lot about the financial side of things, but I've got to say, this gives 5 times as many chances for revenue. Not only are these fantastic branding options going to be displayed 5 times as much, and perhaps even more than that, if they're replaying some of the later levels again and again, there's a particular level that they got past, but they didn't get 3 stars the first time, and they want to get those extra gems and whatnot, then perhaps they're replaying that even more. So it could be more than 5 times the branding, but also when you have that larger game, there's so much more of a chance that people are going to spend real money on in-game purchases, which is designed in the system to immediately go into the pockets of the YOBSN owner that has referred them, and equally as much, a matching amount into the YOBSN owner that has referred that YOBSN owner. Which, just to clarify, that means if you're starting with 10 or 50 or 100 members, first of all, we're giving all these opportunities for people, for your free members, to virally share and virally market these phenomenal games to other people. Yes, your free members to do that, and we're giving them fantastic incentives to do that. By the way, and all of your free members have their own bonus code, but of course, the system is designed when people are paying money on the in-game purchases, it rewards only the qualified YOBSN owner and that YOBSN owner's sponsor with an equal amount of money, or as someone say, a matching amount of money. It's a 2-level affiliate program in that sense. A matching amount of money for the YOBSN owner who I'll give you an example. Let's say that you've got 10, 50, or 100 members. So we're giving all these incentives for those free members to virally market to other people. And when I say market, let me say what I'm really talking about is just, hey, Joe, Jill, have you seen this great game? Look, you've got to play this too. It's fun. Play with me. This is one of the greatest secrets to how many of the mobile games got so popular was incredible word-of-mouth advertising. Okay, so we incentivize your free members to do that, but it's your avatar, and then you get the money. Now, let's say that these free members are growing. The number of free members that you have over time, I'm not even going to say what the period of time is, but let's say over time it grows from 50 or 100 to 1,000 free members, okay? And let's say that you've also referred one other YOBSN owner, someone who also owns their own social network. If they have the same number of free members that you have, and those free members are as active in their downloads, enjoying the game, and their in-game purchases as your free members are, you're making twice as much money as you would have without that person. If you referred 2 qualified YOBSN owners and it was the equivalent, then it goes again that much more. So really, it's those who have a team and are working on the principle that together everyone achieves more, and that's one of the most fundamental business and life principles in any business or any part of life, basically. Then those are the ones who are undoubtedly receiving the most and upgrading their lifestyle in by far the fastest way. What we're also seeing from Jolly here is that we've got some beautiful graphics from Run Bunny Run. We saw one from Ultra Spaceball, and the number of. By the way, do you have Mount Aron or any of the other different? I really should move to the next subject, but we've got so many graphics absolutely completed at this time Programmers are working on this process, and this is another huge and unexpected upgrade to this already fantastic game. It's fantastic now. We're taking it once again completely to the next level. And this is just the start.
David?
Michael, are there any other things that you wanted to say? Yes.
David, could I ask you and Michael just a couple of questions? First, I want to tell you that you make me all tingly when you start talking about numbers. That's when I start getting excited, is when you're talking about those metrics. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what works for me. You know, because people don't understand. When we're talking about the quality of graphics, when we're talking about the gameplay, this is what we're talking about. We're not talking about fun and games. I mean, it will be for some people, but what we're really talking about is business here, and we're talking about the quality of the product we sell. We're in a market where there are competing products that are selling $1 million a day, $2 million a day. Yes. We're in a great market. Now, yes. The question I have is this, is how many of those islands are there out there that you're upgrading?
I don't even know the exact. Michael, do you know the exact number? Anyone can find out. They can play the game and count.
Is it
suppose?
Like?
I think we have like 12.
12. Okay, let's say 12. Here's what I get from the numbers. If we had just one, you had one that used to be 8, and now it's 40. That's a 32. That's 32 more scenes for one island times 12 islands is 384 more times that we're going to be presenting our social integration, and we're going to be giving opportunities for people to make purchases. 384 more times than in the original game. That's when people start to make the big purchases, when you hit those higher levels and those big numbers. Am I right or am I wrong, Michael?
Oh, you're right.
Anyway,
and it was actually,
those numbers make me tingle. Go for it.
It was 14 actually. I always miss the space zone. There's 14 levels. Yeah,
it just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Well, that's like 448, almost 450 extra additional levels. Wow, that's good stuff. You know what that translates to me? Oh, big dollar signs. That's what I see. Anyway, all yours, Dan.
You're absolutely right, Ken. I get incredibly passionate about the actual games and graphics and all of that, but these games have been designed specifically of this level of quality and excellence in order to upgrade the lifestyles of a lot of people around the world, and very quickly, I believe. What I'd also like to do, Jolly, if there are some other graphics that you could show in regards to social integration, some of the new things that we're doing in regards to social integration, you showed one of those. Really just anything in regards to that. And then, and the sharing, for example, that we're having there as well. Let's see here. Oh yes, that screen. Yolani, if you could explain what is on that screen to us, that would be magnificent.
This screen is the social sharing screen, where if you get a high score or if you get a new character, whenever something exciting happens, you're able to share it across different networks. And we've chosen some of the big ones. And as soon as all you have to do is write something about what you just did, or you can just leave it as is, and then you select the social networks that you want to share to, and you share.
So what you're saying here is that suddenly people on Instagram, like if you've got an Instagram account, Jolly, and I know that you've got accounts on numerous ones, the point is that suddenly you're sharing something incredibly exciting from the game. And let me rephrase that. The game is allowing you, with the tap of a finger or the click of a mouse on the web versions, to share something exciting that's exciting and part of that game. For example, in this case, you've just cleared a level with 3 stars, or perhaps you've cleared one of the scenes within that. And in a sense, it's a brilliant sharing, but also brilliant advertising method as well. Is that right?
It is. It's most of these have a link that you can.
No, please go on. Although it sounds like a way of viral marketing from free members to other free members. Is that right?
I think she lost her audio.
Yeah, Jolly, I suddenly couldn't hear you. It sounded like it cut off right in the middle of a word.
Well, David, one thing I will point out is I have had people asking me for the longest time, gosh, am I going to be able to share on these different social networks? Here's your answer. Here's your answer.
Here's your answer.
You guys ought to be applauding. People should be jumping up and down and excited because, and it's like I say, it's not only fun, this is good business.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going across all our games, and it's going across our social network. To give you an example of how far-reaching this is going to be, when people click on the prize box to get more social points, and we have a certain number of people every day that are getting a certain number of social points that are larger than the normal amount that they would get. Every time that happens, we're going to have the ability to share on all these networks. So there's so many ways that we're making all our mobile software, which means all our mobile games. It means our mobile apps. It means the software and the technology that we have that's not mobile. All of that, even the web-based, all of that, so social on the biggest networks out there. And again, one of the things that Jolly has been incredibly excited about, by the way, Jolly, move your mouse if you can hear me. Move it on the screen.
I can hear you. My internet went. Yeah.
I can't see your mouse moving, but I can hear you perfectly now. Still can't see it moving, though.
I'm moving the screen, the whole screen.
Can't see anything move right now. Okay, Ken, if you could help me out while I'm talking, if you could make yourself the presenter and then make Jolly the presenter again, that would be brilliant. So, Jolly, we're going to be giving, one of the other things that we've been programming in these games is matching prizes for gems and other things as well. Just all sorts of matching prizes. We're even going to have it so that at some point in the future there's physical prizes with, for example, if one person gets to a certain level, and we'll do this, we want all players of all skill levels to have the chance to win. If someone wins an iPod Nano, then the person who refers them gets an iPod Nano, and the person who refers them could be one of your free members. And why is that exciting for you? Because the incentive for your free members is to tell everyone that they can about this through your social networks. And who makes the money? Well, again, it's designed so that you, as the qualified YOBSN owner and your sponsor, both make an equal amount of money. Again, we go back to the teams. Together, everyone achieves more. Very important. Okay. By the way, Charlie, let me ask, just as someone who uses so many social networks and games and mobile games and all of this, would you feel excited? First of all, do you know of any other games that are giving away, for example, an iPod Nano or something, and have a whole matching price system like that, whether they're revenue sharing or not? And the second question would be, would you be at all excited about telling anyone if you could get a game like this for free and start sharing it with people, knowing that you could get matching prizes like that? Would that be exciting to you at all?
Oh, that's very exciting. A lot of my followers are always asking for giveaways. You know, they always want to know where I'm doing the next giveaway. And that usually has to come out of my pocket. So having something like where it doesn't have to come out of my pocket is just, it's like a dream come true. Seriously, it is. Because your followers want to engage with you. And one of the ways you can engage with them is through matching prizes. So, yeah, this is amazing.
Awesome. Right now, Ken, I'm thinking this might be a good time for me to share my screen and just a few things that I want to share live with some of the wonderful,
I think that would
wonderful
be a good
people.
idea. Since it looks like Yolani's screen is not presenting.
So is everyone able to see my screen then?
We can see your screen. Yes, David.
Okay. And let me see. Now this is Bubble Champion, and I just want to show one thing very quickly here. And this right here, what I want to show, this has been released to the App Store already. And excuse me, let me rephrase that. This has been released to Apple for their approval already. Every single mobile software goes through Apple's approval. So the games that are making, the companies that have games that make $2.5 million a day, they also go through Apple's approval process, just like we do. What you're seeing is this wonderful tutorial. So it says the bubbles are launched from the bubble canyon, and I'm going to tap to continue, aim carefully. So I'm going to try that out. Touch the screen and slide your finger. So this wonderful tutorial is showing me each bit here, which is quite nice. Obviously, the number of frames per second that you're seeing from the game is dramatically reduced because you're seeing this through GoToWebinar. And it's showing me here, so the real game is actually quite a bit better than what you're seeing on your screen right now. But you see, touch here to switch the bubbles. So it shows that you can touch to do that. It's just this beautiful tutorial. That's one more example that I wanted to show. And then there are other tutorials that show you all the other bits, including with the special bubble as well. And it also shows a few other tips and secrets. It shows the bird so that people know that they can buy the items. Even if someone has never played a mobile game before of any kind, or mobile software, used a mobile software of any kind, they should feel at home very quickly with this one. Now, I also want to go right into YOBSN Mobile, and we're already over time as far as the amount of time that I was going to spend on these things, way over time, but there's so much exciting information. I just can't wait to give to people. I'm actually going to be showing my screen again right about now. So, and let me just see if I can grab myself as the presenter. I know that I stopped it for a moment. Ken, can you still hear me clearly?
I can. You're doing fine.
Lotar and here, and I'm just going to switch to the new avatar system. Also, we've got, just so you know, we've got the new prize system, prize winners list and a number of other things that I don't have time to even show in the new YOBSN mobile that's been brought now to the App Store for approval. I'm just going to show you how this works quickly. I do not have much time to show you this, and there is so much to show. By the way, Jolly, are you able to see my screen? I can't hear Jolly right at the moment, but this is the new avatar system that is currently programmed and fully operational, including social point purchases, which I'll get to in just a moment. This is going to be, for some people, this can, well, actually, for a lot of people, this can really make some money for people. Yes.
David, Yolani, can you say anything?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We didn't hear you, so we weren't sure, and I thought you could hear us. Yolani, could you tell us a bit about the avatar market, about the dollars that are available there? I think a lot of people think, well, gosh, they're just making these pretty dolls and these pretty avatars, and what is that? Again, folks, I want to tell you, it's the business of avatars. That's what makes me tingly. This is a revenue stream. It will be anyway. This is a potential revenue stream for you. So, Yolani, tell us about how the avatar business is, because I never realized it till I heard it from you.
Well, I was telling you earlier that Kim Kardashian, who's actually a very smart businesswoman, she's always on the latest trends, and the latest things that she launched was an avatar app, and she just launched it about 2 weeks ago, and it's already estimated to make over $2 million in just like 6 months.
Wow.
And that just shows how that we are really, I mean, avatars are huge, and I think I told you this once, David, that I think the avatar games and our avatar systems are going to be some of the top earning apps that we have.
Yeah.
Just because it's such a silent empire, I feel like people enjoy it of all ages. My son enjoys it. I enjoy it. My grandma enjoys it. And it's really all about the in-app purchases. You're always purchasing something, and it's sort of the mind that people have when you're playing these games. You always want to buy the next shoe or the next skirt or the next hairstyle. And I'm
wondering if our audience out there too noticed, as David was going through these screens, if they noticed that there were things that already are there, and they are nothing compared to what I know David has in mind, but there are already things there that they're testing out that can be bought with social points. And what happens when you redeem your social points and you buy things from inside the avatar app? Oh, that's right. When people spend money in the avatar app, you make money. When they spend social points, you make money.
That's right. Any qualified YOBSN owner, absolutely. On the web and on mobile. How brilliant is that? The number of options here. Jolly, could you speak about that just for a moment and talk a little about what we're seeing on the screen right now, and what this is like, and how many options there are compared to other avatar systems out there?
Well, something that's really unique about our avatar system is that we have so many ethnicities. It's not just for the Caucasian. It's, you could really customize your avatar to look like you, or a cartoon version of you. And we have so many options. It's really unbelievable. And, you can change your hairstyle, your eye style, your eyebrow style, your lip style. If you want to change your shirt, and maybe you like that shirt style, you could change the color of that shirt style, or those pants, maybe you want a different color. There's so many options already in such a little time, compared to other avatar games that I play.
And by the way, have you really done any serious research on the avatar systems out there, maybe for a few months or so?
Yeah, I've done them for about 2 to 3 years, for a very long time. And our avatars are by far the best looking avatars out there.
Wow. Now remember, folks, when she says they're the best looking avatars, those of you who are out there who are saying, I don't care, what do I care if it's a great looking avatar? No, what she's saying is, this is the best looking avatar product on the market. That's like saying, oh, we have Mercedes and the other guy's got Fords. Yeah. You know, we've got the top product. And what is the avatar? What sells the avatar? How good it looks. So when they talk about how good it looks, you just start rubbing your hands together and you start feeling those social points starting to pay off for you. This is what this is all about. So when they talk about the quality, when they talk about the options, you start thinking about, what does that mean to me? What does that mean to the public? It doesn't matter whether you like avatars or not. Do you like business? Do you like money? Well, gosh, then I guess I've just fallen in love with a new product.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, go ahead, Jolly.
Well, I look at it like this: an avatar system that doesn't even look nearly half as good as ours is already making, or estimated to make, $2 million in just 6 months. You know, and it doesn't even look half as good as what we have.
And I'm seeing a new trend on these avatar systems that people are going nuts over them, and they're also going mad not only over the avatar systems themselves, but also the ability to share their avatars through all these different social networks, through social integration. And of course, once again, we have something that no one else does, which is that our avatars are not just one system. I've got to say, folks, if the only thing we had was one avatar-only app, that was the only thing that was in a particular social mobile app, that alone could be amazingly successful. And people are willing to pay big prices for some of these, some of this incredible clothing and all of that for their avatars, and it really sets things apart. It determines what they look like in our virtual system. But talk a little about the social integration for a moment, if you will, Jolly. And also, are we going to have social integration like we talked about with Bubble Champion also in the new avatar system?
Yes, we are. So one of the ideas that we were talking about is after the avatar is dressed, your avatar would pop up and say, wow, look at your avatar. You look great. You know, after they are all dressed, they've selected their clothes, you know, you would come up and say, wow, Melissa, you look amazing today. Thank you for shopping with me.
Exactly. And would you like, your avatar looks fantastic. Would you like to share it with others? Would you like to share it with the world? Of course they would. I mean, if you've already talked about how you believe that this is the most beautiful avatar system out there, would you share these avatars with other people?
I just can't wait for the go for you to tell me that I can share them. And I'm still going to share them in every single social network that I have. So, yes.
By the way, I don't know if you can show your screen, but I would love to see what. I'm sorry, once again, we don't have time to show something that I want to show, but I can tell you that all of these avatars, 100% of the system, including all of the graphics, we started this from nothing. This is once again the immense talent of our team, of synergistic combination of designers, programmers, artists, illustrators, all working together to create this astonishing system. And by the way, I know that I haven't shown any of the male avatars. There's so many more fantastic female avatars here as well. Again, so many choices. You can choose the skin color. You can choose basically everything about it, and it's just phenomenal. Oh, and by the way, the social point, the purchases are working right now in the sense that I can literally just tap on this. I'm going to buy this item for this particular one for 226 social points. And again, the amount of social points that we're going to be charging for these items is going to be different for each item, just like a high-end clothing store. Okay, and for example, I can change the hair color there just slightly. And what I've bought, by the way, is this is not just this particular item, but also that particular color, which means that all the other colors that are available for an additional price as well. So now I've bought this this beautiful white and golden item, and now I want to buy the black version. So I'm going to do that, and my social points are subtracted, and Bob's your uncle. It really is that powerful and amazingly simple. I could spend so much more time on this, but you can see how, I know people's minds are being absolutely blown right now as far as not only the quality of the designs, but how much there is already. This is a finished system. This is one of the female East Indian avatars, for example. And yes, she looks like an Indian princess here. I'm going to just choose, I'd like to have these, perhaps these lovely, there she's got these lovely brown eyes, lovely green eyes. We'll choose the brown eyes, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to select, this sari, I believe. You know what? Let me do this right here. Let me just try this. Now look at that. I don't know if people are really seeing the quality of this, and we're going to have a zoom in function in the future. But if you've got a high definition television, the quality that the artists have designed these avatars with is about twice the quality that you see on your high definition television. It's basically close to what's known as 4K quality. So absolutely stunning. Want to buy that one. I don't want to spend too much more time on the avatars. There is so much more to show, but people will get to play with it themselves. And I will say, the only downside that I can see to the avatar system, and it could be a big downside for some, is that, gentlemen, when the ladies start to play this, and they're going to be, as Jolly mentioned, her son and lots of other men will use this. Obviously, in fact, all of the YOBSN owners and the free members will use this, every single one. But when the ladies take a look at this, they're going to talk to the gentlemen in their lives and say, upgrade your fashion for some of it. And I know that we've got some very fashion-forward men on the webinar. If you're not yet, watch out. This, by the way, I would humorously call the David Martin avatar right there. So I just had to have an avatar that looked like me, and for the meager price of 300 social points, I have got to buy this item. And if you had referred me to the system, that little bit right there would have just made you money as well. And it's just one purchase of one item, of one color of that particular item, And there's so many other things in the avatar systems that we're going to have as well to purchase. And this is just the beginning. People will be making these purchases all the time. So hope your teams are ready. There's so many other things I'd like to talk about, but Ken, are there any other points that you'd like me to ask Michael or Jolly right now?
No, I think you've covered this excellent. I think what you've shown is these are two potentially excellent revenue streams. Obviously, what they require is they're not magic. It's what Michael told us. You've got to refer people to them. It requires teamwork. Our team, the corporate team, you're obviously doing with the programmers what needs to be done. Now, the team out there of YOBSN owners, you've got to bring people to these, and you've got to build it until it gets to a certain tipping point. And once it builds that momentum, that's when you'll find that it starts to go in. But if you're just expecting to sit back and this does it by itself, I just don't think that's going to occur.
Yeah, there's no such thing in the world. There's no such thing in the world. And if somebody tells you that there is,
that. You bet.
Absolutely. And it is, again, about your YOBSN member, YOBSN owner team. That's really going to push things forward like nothing else. So at this point, there is so much more that we have to show you, and more that we will show you in this webinar. Unquestionably, there's so much more that Michael and Jolly has to contribute. But the thing is, I'm seeing that we're already over quite a bit over the amount of time that I wanted to take with this. So what I'm going to do is say a very warm, heartfelt thank you to Michael and Jolly for all that you've shared. Michael, are there any other things, I don't expect you to, but are there any other things that you wanted to say at the very end here before I let you go from this particular webinar?
Just one. Thank you, obviously, for having me on here to talk with everyone. And we will do our best, I promise, to build tools that will help make everyone successful.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Michael. Anything, any last word that you wanted to say there, Jolly?
No, just thank you for having me. It was really fun.
My great pleasure. And from all of us, from every member here, in this, what I'll call a very full house, or virtual house of this fantastic worldwide webinar that we're having right now. Thank you so much, Jolly, and thank you so much, Michael. Cheers. And over to you, Ken.
Well, great. They did that. That was a fantastic session. I want everybody to understand it really was the business of games, because you're going to, and this is the wonderful partnership and relationship that David and I have. David is truly the creative part of our company and the visionary. He loves the level of graphics. He loves all of that. I simply wouldn't know, but I love the business. I love it when he gets into the numbers. I get all excited. And so we are a perfect combination in terms of being able to do this type of thing. So I'm going to move for just a few screens here, give you a chance maybe to take a drink of water or something, David. And I'm just going to remind people of a couple of things here. Like to remind people of our promotions that are underway right now. We have two incredible promotions: the YOBSN Best of the Best in the World. And those of you who are out there that are trying for this, I'm telling you right now, I have talked to people in every country that are plotting and planning against you. So this better be your best effort, because I'll tell you, it's a worldwide competition. Now, that's the best of the best. At the same time, we've provided that everybody can win. If you sell 3, you get 1 for free. Let's take a look at these real quickly, just to remind you. Sell 3, get 1 free. For every 3 professional YOBSNs you sell, that's the $400 package, you get one free. You can sell it, so you could sell it for $400 and keep the whole $400. You can keep it, use it as a demo, use it as a social network, whatever you like, or give it away to build business. It's yours to work with. It counts towards your LMB. So this has been the most amazing month. We've never done this in the past. When you sell 3 YOBSN Pros, you get credit for 4 against your LMB. So you're trying to get to LMB 1, 2, 3. This is the time. It'll never be easier than this month. And for those of you who didn't get the message, you're wondering how I get my free YOBSN. I've already sold my three YOBSN Pros. Just submit a support ticket to support, telling them that you have and you want your free YOBSN, and we'll get you taken care of. There's a little bit of a manual step in there because obviously we need to verify that everything's there. So let me just keep moving on here. In the Best of the Best contest, hey, each one of you is going to get $1,000. So the three top ones, $1,000 each, just like that. On top of that, you're going to be recognized as the best. I guarantee we're going to put you on a pedestal everywhere you go, and obviously you're a natural and a lock-in for the August Mastermind Roundtable on that. So just wanted to remind you of those promotions that are going on, and this is the best time to deal with that. I'd like to take just a couple of minutes. I'm going to, and I really, literally only want 1 to 2 minutes, just a couple of sentences from certain leaders that I'm going to pick out. And what I'd like them to do is I'd like them to give me just a couple of sentences that answers the question, what's one thing that each member, so you're going to share with each member that they could do to best capitalize on this incredible sell 3, get 1 free promotion. These are the people, folks, listen to these people, because these are the people who are doing this. These are the people who are successful at this point right now. So the first person I'd like to hear from real quickly is Tahir Hussein. Tahir, can you give us just your real brief update on the answer to this question?
Absolutely, Ken. Can you hear me loud and clear?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, the challenge is 2 minutes. So, Ken, here's one thing I would do, and it is based on all that we have seen and based on the competition, is that I would be talking to every single new YOBSN owner and every single leader out there who's building massive strengths in the organizations, is to go out in this month and take massive action. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how much knowledge you have. It doesn't matter what training skills you have gone through. It's a pretty no-brainer that you can go and sell 3 professional packages and get 1 absolutely free, which is up to 70% in commissions is paid out on the sales volume that you're bringing in. This has never happened in the company's history. I'm not sure when this is going to ever happen again. We have 20 days left. So what I mean by massive action is when you go out, you literally go and talk to every single person on your Facebook, on your contact list you've ever met, and all you're talking about is YOBSN to them. And that's it. Now, leaders who have been waiting and doubting for when is that going to happen and when is that going to come, guess what? If you don't go out this month to take massive action, this month can actually make you or break you, whether you are a new YOBSN owner or whether you are a leader commanding thousands of people in your team. The reason is because the ones who are taking that massive action this month and going that extra mile, they'll have something far more bigger, better, stronger, faster than anyone else would have. And by the time this month has gone by, all the other, from August onwards, all the others that they would be doing is a catch-up. The ones who take the action now are going to beat it. Now, here's the bad news. We just have 20 days left. So if you have to sleep like 3 hours, or if you couldn't get proper sleep, make sure it's worth it, because that's what it's going to take to be the number one and certainly to be one of the best in the world. So that's all what I would share, Ken, in these 2 minutes. that just go out and just take that action. Don't let anything absolutely out there stop you. And don't doubt yourself, because this is the time not to doubt. This is the time when the company runs something that never ran in the history before. So you need to do something much more than you've ever done in your life before. And then that's my message, Ken. Thank you so much for having me.
So much. I think that's a very powerful message to hear. And I think if you follow his advice, he's proven that he knows what he's talking about. The next person I'm going to call on obviously didn't know, and I've actually never called on him before, but this person talks to more people in more places in the world off the cuff and talks about YOBSN than any person I know. And so he may help you address that fear of, how do you talk to people that easily, and how do you best capitalize it? So what I'd like to do at this time is call on Lothar. Lothar, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, and I'm utterly surprised you got me by the balls.
So
what I would like to share, of course, Tahir is perfectly right. What's happening in the world of the social media is going way beyond what we have experienced before. The communication between people on a global scale, whether it's political, whether it's business, whether it's social, whether it's gaming, is reaching so many more levels and surprising us. And Jolie mentioned something that this lady Kardashian is going out there, and within 6 months she's reaching the numbers. There is a global change happening just now, and we are being set up by YOBSN and by you guys in a way that has never happened before. And I guess even myself, I don't really grasp and understand what's going on. But yes, I keep sharing and sharing and sharing. I just had 1,000 business cards given away around the world. And this thing is going to explode in our face. And you're giving us the tools, and you're preparing us in ways that now with the action for July and coming August is just mind-boggling. So yes, you got me by surprise.
Thank you so much, Lothar. I want to thank you for giving us that. And I want to tell people that if Lothar says the way to do this is get business cards and share them, I would pay attention. Nobody shares more YOBSN in more places than he does. If he says there's a global change coming on, he sees it in ways that none of the rest of us do. So thank you, Lothar, and I'm going to move on to my next speaker. But thank you. Next, I would like to talk to someone that I've actually been friends with for quite a bit. I want him to control his language and his urges, but he can tell us the answer to this question. Rick, tell us how it is.
What do you mean urges? What a terrible thing to say. Well, all I can say, in order to make this happen, first thing you want to do is get off the couch and go do something. Get out in there, get out and go do something. We've got a huge opportunity here, and this promotion's never been done, and I've been here for a while. And, a couple of things is double up on the work. If you're trying to get those 3 packages so you can get that free one, well, double up on the work. And if you want to get to an LMB3, double up on the work. And by the way, when you get up in the morning and your feet hit the floor and you're excited, well, you better go look in the mirror and check your face, because make sure your face knows that you're excited, because I'm telling you, that comes right through on the phone. Be excited. We've got a huge opportunity here. And another little thing that I often use with people I talk to is GPS. A lot of people on this webinar, they know what GPS, a little thing in your car, you want to go from point A to point B. The way I have treated my business is like GPS. I know where I'm at, I know where I'm going, I know what needs to get done, and try to replicate and duplicate that enthusiasm and make sure the people that you're working with have a smile on their face. And if they don't, tell them to check their face for a smile. But get them off the couch. double up on the work. It's possible. We have people doing it all over the world. And, thank you, David, and for everything that the company's doing. I'm going to keep it really short because I don't know what else you're going to say, Ken. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Rick. And so, people, I have one more leader that I'd like to call on. This is a rookie, but I've talked to her, and she's very impressive, and I think she'll have some good advice. So if you're a rookie and you're just getting going, this is rookie to rookie here. So, Gretchen, I'm hoping I unmute the right one since you're actually in here twice. I'm going to unmute both of them. Gretchen, can you hear me? I think Gretchen's sound is off. I don't think there's anything she can do. All right. Well, we'll move on. We'll catch Gretchen in another session. What I want to point out is that these three leaders have each given us a different perspective, but they've each said the same thing: take action, share. I like to get off the couch, put a smile on your face. These are people who are already succeeding. If you want to succeed, I would follow their advice. Great advice. Thank you so much, folks. The next area I'd like to turn, and it'll probably just take a couple of minutes because David Franklin has already addressed this. And David, if you want to move on by it, that would be fine. If you want to spend a couple more minutes on the new social integration, because folks, if you didn't recognize it, he was talking about another type of social integration, which is big bucks. David?
Yeah, absolutely. And if there are any questions that you want to ask me about it, that's perfectly great. But essentially, there's so many levels of social integration that we've been breaking ground with and putting in these apps. There are other apps that have a particular type of social integration where you can share things. For example, you get a great avatar app and you're sharing the avatars all over. And I guarantee you what Jolly said was true. All those different things. But for example, how she was saying that our avatar system is the best in the world as far as just quality, the quality of the designs, the options, everything. And some of the most popular mobile apps and different games out there actually have to do, I don't want to say games, but excuse me, mobile software and also web-based software that has to do, that's a simple avatar system, even if it's more simple than this. These are proven, people are spending their money like this on like mad. It's a whole other way for YOBSN owners to make money. Now, we've shown the social integration where we're talking about sharing things with other people. We're putting that in everything. We're putting that in the web-based version of YOBSN. We're putting it in the web-based version of the new avatar system. Again, there's so much more that I could show that would just absolutely blow people's minds. And there's so many things that I've also shown already, I've got to say, to certain key leaders that through the special Leaders Roundtable webinars that we have every month that I have not shown to anyone here on this particular webinar today, and are again absolutely mind-blowing. I'm going to just take the screen for one quick moment. I know we don't have much time for this, but can you see my screen right now?
We can see your screen, David.
There's just so much that I could show that is so mind-blowing. And the thing is, it's because of the foundation that we've built that we are now prepared to truly do what no other company has ever been able to do before and are doing what no other company has ever done before. We are doing it right now. We are doing it right now. So there's so many different sides to the social integration, and there's so many opportunities for profit that we have been bringing forth. And it's just, oh, by the way, talking about the avatar system, I don't know if you can see that graphic right there. Ken, can you see that graphic right there on the avatar system? Ken, I think I've
David,
lost
sorry,
you.
Sorry, I had my my mic switched off. Yeah, I absolutely can see it. It looks great. That is an incredible image.
And that's how we're taking things. That image, I could explain what's going on, but that's going to be any avatar, for any of the female avatars. That's their special dressing room. There are just so many things that we're doing. Here's another example of the social sharing and the social integration in YOBSN Mobile that we are creating. Again, there's just so much that is so mind-blowing, and we are the only company in the world, revenue sharing or otherwise, that has managed to create what we've created, which is, how would you call it, Ken? Setting the standard, but it's also, some of this has never been done before. So it's not just better, it's completely innovative. How would you describe that?
Well, there are a couple of things. Number one, we're creating a trend, not following a trend. Number two, we're disrupting a market. Because when you do things differently and you force other people to do it, that's a disruptive influence. And you want to do that because it puts you into that lead position.
Give me an example of a disruptive technology, Ken, just really quickly.
A disruptive technology, and I know I have a better example than this, but this one sticks in my mind as it happens, is the little tiny ditch digger. They used to call it the ditch witch. That digs little tiny ditches for people by their houses. Very personal type of thing. Actually, if you talked about the number of yards of dirt that it moved, it was more expensive than these huge steam shovels that it was competing with. But nobody much has steam shovels today. Why? Because it disrupted the market. It made hydraulics. It made all these other things popular. This little tiny thing disrupted these huge 10-yard and 6-yard shovels that were just massive and could only be put out by like about 4 or 5 companies in the world because they were so expensive to build. Little tiny. So a little tiny company that starts out small can disrupt the biggest companies in the world. It happens.
Absolutely. And the thing is, we're not that tiny, and we've already stood the test of time and proven our value, and so many other things as well. But we've got that sort of foundation that is, it's built, it's like built on the most powerful stone instead of sand. That is the key. All the time we spent creating that members back office, creating the social system, then the mobile platforms on top of it and all of that. And again, Bubble Champion, Run Bunny Run, YOBSN Mobile, already released to the Apple Store for approval and then to the Google Store. This has already happened, okay? It is absolutely mind-blowing. And obviously, the technology that I was showing is fully operational today. Are there any other points about social integration? There's so much more I could go into, but then there's constantly more and more and more great news from the company, and there's this quickening. There's this quickening with the company where it's like...
I'm going to let you talk about that in just a second.
Okay.
Hold it back, David. Hold it back.
It's so hard.
So my question to you would be, this looks great. Is there anything else on social integration? because I think the next area you've covered pretty well. The next area is the mobile update. Anything else you want to say on that? And then I'm going to let you loose with what's happening.
Right. As far as the mobile update, there's so much more that I could say, so much more that I could show, but at this time we are running very late, and let's get to the next key point.
Okay. Here's the thing that's happening. David, tell your story of why I've got this popping in the last 60 days on the screen.
Well, it's interesting. On one of the leaders webinars that I did, I think it was last month, I gave the example of popcorn. You put it on, and people are looking at it, and it looks like something sizzling, and it looks exciting, and suddenly pop. Okay, great. When's the next one coming? Pop. Okay, great. And then suddenly pop, 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 pop. Oh my gosh. All these things are happening so quickly, so rapidly. And my goodness, that's certainly been proven by YOBSN.
I think that's an absolutely accurate analogy, David. That's certainly what I'm seeing occur.
Absolutely. And I've got to say, please read the company updates. Keep your eyes glued to those company updates. Make sure that that you're building this passionate team of power that's going out there, and that they're all dedicated to taking their lifestyles to the next level, and that they're keeping up to date with the company updates. This webinar was an example of that as well. You probably wouldn't be on here if you hadn't been reading them. The same thing goes for your teams. And there's more than I could say about that, but Ken, let's go to the next slide.
Okay. I just want to tell people that I put just a few items up here that have happened in the last 60 days. Guarantee there were a lot more I could have done. I actually ran out of space. So, right. David, in the next slide, I really want to tell you the other story that you were telling about to people. I think this one is so appropriate. Talk about fishing, David.
I created this company not because I had to. As I mentioned before, almost anyone who creates a company, almost anyone can greatly underestimate the amount of time and the amount of money it takes. Even building a back office system, just the back office system that we entirely ourselves own, and it's the only way, by having created our back office system entirely from the beginning, was the only way that we could have the sort of integration and all these wonderful things that we're doing. This wouldn't be possible for any other company. And it can take 5 or 6 years to build the sort of back office system that even a small part of what we have there. They're companies that are Fortune 5,000 companies, companies that have more than 100 million US dollars annually, that do not have their own back office system. And if they wanted to have the sort of technology that we have, they simply couldn't. It's just that simple. So it took millions to even create that system, and that's before we even begin to talk about all these mobile games and the graphic designers. We have more than 50 team members from around the world who are working and moving things forward. So you've got to have, one of the ways that companies die is when they are initially underfunded, and this is why almost none of the companies last more than 6 to 18 months. That is the time frame of almost certain death of any company. We've certainly been here for more than 54 months so far, but you've got to have that money to put in the beginning to really do things right, and we did that. So this was not a company that I needed to do. I could have gone on vacation for the rest of my life. And it's also someone like Ken, for example, for a man of this caliber to put his heart and soul into a company, it needs to be something special. And that goes for all these team members that we've attracted, the programmers, the people who, for example, was a university professor and could have stayed that way in a very prestigious European university and took his students and became just one of our team for games. So that's what it took. But the reason I created this company was to allow people who weren't born wealthy and weren't and are hardworking, that real chance to completely revolutionize their lifestyle. And I am so proud from the bottom of my heart that this company has already allowed so many people from around the world to do exactly that. And the other part, I want to talk, and Ken wasn't expecting me to do this, but I want to talk about materialism. If you think about it, those people who are the most poor are the people who need to be the most materialistic. It's hard to meditate or pray or think happy thoughts if the person who owns the apartment that you're renting is banging on the door with an eviction notice, right? It's actually when you have enough money that you don't need to worry about it anymore, at least not the basic normal expenses that most people have to deal with, that people are really able to not only help themselves, but to help others in a way that they could never have done before. For example, if you're stuck in the mud and someone else is stuck in the mud, how are you going to get them out? Yeah? But if you're out of the mud, then you can throw them a lifeline and they can get out because of you as well. This system has the power to change not the lifestyles of everyone in the world, completely unrealistic, never going to happen, not with this company or any other that I've ever heard of, or any company, establishment, system, whatever. But realistically, passionately, I can say that this company, with all the products, with all the value, this company, it has the ability to allow the right sort of dedicated people to truly upgrade their lifestyle and the lifestyles of those they care about, and then to go even beyond that to make the world a better place. Now, here's the fishing example. Imagine that you've got some starving people on an island, and you've got the ocean, and suddenly it turns out that at this particular moment in time, you've heard it, you're starting to see it, there's going to be this huge number of fish, more than the eye can see, just coming in to that part of the ocean. Now, what position would you want to be in? Would you want to be in a little rowboat, but you didn't quite remember to bring the fishing line, or perhaps you brought the fishing line and you've got a worm that expired 10 weeks before? Or would you want to be working as a team with other like-minded people on a high-technology fishing boat and be able to have cast an incredibly high-quality net into the ocean, and it goes and just brings this multitude of wealth and a better lifestyle for yourself, but also for the other people that you're working with? What would you prefer? What position would you be in? What position would you choose to be in? That really is the key. It's not about the company. It's about your choice. It really is. I say this from the bottom of my heart, knowing how success happens. It really is a choice. And right now, this is the time. The starting gun has already been fired a long time ago, like that beautiful Pink Floyd song says. For those of you who are waiting for it, it already fired, and don't miss it. The point is, what's happening with these releases is going to be so powerful and so magical for some people. Actually, I would say it can be for every single YOBSN owner. But how much a particular person's lifestyle is upgraded depends on them. It depends, when I say on them, the team that they are working with. If you don't have a team, if you've got no team, now is the time to build one. Now is a perfect time to build one. If you are referring 3 YOBSN owners, you're getting, again, just read, if you're referring them at that right level, just as already announced by the company in writing, look at the writing specifications, then what the company is offering has never been done before in more than 54 months of history. And we're doing it to really help and really benefit people at this special time, because we know what has already been submitted to the stores, what we're coming out with, what we've already got complete. And we want to allow people to benefit more than they thought possible. But it depends a lot, not just on the company and all the wonderful things that I've shown and all the wonderful things that we're doing and all the viral marketing and integration. As I say, when it comes to making money on free members, great. But as I said before in my example, it's those with the team, suddenly you're making exponentially more because of that team. Because you're making, it pays you the same amount as it pays them on their free members. You're making that money on their free members, the members of your team. And it's also doing brilliant things for your YOBSN Trusted Member Score, which is going to be ever just so much more important in the future as well. Although, again, the score is based on the trustworthiness of each member, not the sales, but the sales can also, that the trustworthiness of the team, if you don't have a team, what can we say? And what that system does, I wasn't going to talk about this, but it gives a lot of extra advantages. Things on how quickly people can get paid and all sorts of other advantages on being able to get things first. And I'd like to point out that no matter how wonderful, extraordinarily wonderful, all the things that we have been coming out with are, it's always going to get better. It's like that YOBSN train graphic that we showed once before. It always keeps getting better. The announcements that we made today that people weren't expecting, the announcements that we showed today that are much better than what people were expecting. But then it gets better than that. But again, it's all about now and the teams that you have. And wouldn't it be wonderful if you could massively upgrade your lifestyle through YOBSN, through the efforts that you're making today and tomorrow and next week and this month. And also, perhaps pull others out of the mud by doing the same. So that's what I've got to say about it, Ken. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, David. I appreciate that. I know it was from the heart, and I appreciate your comments. I'd like to take us home now. I'll let you pipe in at the very last here with one more goodbye. And I'd like to, you know, a lot of people have given some great advice. I'd like to finish with just a little touch with reality. I want to make sure that everybody understands this. Number one, we have YOBSN product to sell today. In fact, we've had YOBSN product to sell for the last year. And people are making real money today with that product that already exists. They're making real money today from a product that already exists. Now listen, as David said, there are always going to be great new products coming from smart media. But the first 2 points are the two most important ones. We have YOBSN product to sell today. People are making real money today. Everything else is an add-on. Everything else adds to that and says, helps you do that and helps you do the first 2 points. Your train that David talked about is going to move as fast as you make it move. This is reality. And here's the other reality, and I got to tell you, every leader out here who's been with us for this whole time will tell you this. There's never been an easier or a better time to sell the YOBSN product. Never. David, any final comments before I close us out?
I think that was brilliant, Ken. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a great honor from my heart to yours to be able to speak with you this evening, this morning, wherever in the world you are.
Thanks everybody for joining us, and we're gonna sign off now. And I want to tell you, I do appreciate it. I know for some of you it's really late or really early, depending on how you look at it. Thanks so much, and hope to see you soon. I'd love to see all of you at the Mastermind webinars as well. Bye bye, everybody.